My name is Keren Moscovitch. I'm super honored to be here at Chashama, which is a really amazing organization here in New York City with the support of this incredible space and these incredible people who run the organization. So thank you, Chashama. So we're here at Body, Mind, and Spirit. I wanted to make sure I got the order correct because I do think it's actually quite important that we start with body, move to mind, and then into spirit. The artists who are featured are Marc Alain, Barbara Nitke, Laurence Elle Groux, and Natalya Kochak. So tell us about the imagery that you've selected and the process you go through to make these collages. And I love them. I love just like observing all of the details and textures and then taking a step back and seeing, you know, you've got these two heart forms that are overlapping, but the forms are snakes, which a lot of people are terrified of snakes, but they're also just gorgeous. You know, they're like jewels. It's like they're made of emeralds and, you know, gold. It's incredible.
So all my work is found imagery. Well, that's not true, actually. Most of it, like I would say 90% of it's from like going to thrift stores, getting books, magazines. You know, if I'm looking for something specific, like with this one, I really wanted robin eggs, and finding that in a book cracked open, not going to happen. So I do internet searches sometimes. Yeah. And back then I was really obsessed with the heart. I think it's like the perfect shape. So I'd start with that. I knew that was going to be part of the piece. That was going to be the main part of the composition. And then playing around, trying to see where things go. And I really like to, like how you were saying, the more you look at it, I know no one has an attention span, but I like rewarding people that want to spend time and want to look. Like you find little Easter eggs.
Like I found the like cicadas. Which I hate insects, all of them except for cicadas. I really love this piece. There's something about this piece that's like things that we're afraid of, things that we fantasize about and like think are, you know, beautiful and adorable, things that hurt us, things that are sad. Like those robin eggs are always this like really weird, you like make yourself sort of like imagine that like, oh, that baby bird made it, like that one made it, you know, but you never know. And then the snakes eat them. It's this whole thing. So yeah, I appreciate that. And then it's interesting because like, I mean, this piece actually really makes me think, why is it that two dogs fornicating is funny? Because it's funny.
I think anything a dog does is kind of funny.
It is. Whereas like two people doing the same thing is like, ooh, right? It's like, why is there this weird like kind of tension between our experience of these beasts that are just doing their animal thing, and then the people who are just doing their animal thing with maybe the facilitation of technology and audience, they don't care that there's an audience. They're perfectly happy with it. And like, why is it funny that when a dog pees? Like that's like really funny to me. Like all these dogs pooping and like peeing. Like dogs are ridiculous when they're pooping. It's like the funniest thing. But like when a human poops, it's like, ugh, you know.
Obviously, I was really trying to be funny with this one more than the other ones.
Yeah.
And also, I had the center part done, and it was on white paper, and it was boring to me because I'm a maximalist. This whole series was called The Birds and the Bees, and I had been collecting bee imagery, honey. So this is actually a bubble of honey, and it's dripping.
And you've got some pieces over there as well that are you said those are the newer pieces. Maybe we can sort of saunter.
Sure. This one was about climate. And I originally just wanted from far away, where you would think it's just like, oh, this is a pretty landscape. And then if you actually took the time, you're like, oh, those aren't clouds. They're actually plastic bags. And the flowers have trash. These are time consuming. So it takes me like a month to make one. So I have a lot of time to think, which is good and bad.
That's great.
Yeah. And so I had built this up. I liked where it was at. This weird kaleidoscope of color just in the front. And what's funny about this is it's actually chronological. This is 2021. 2022, 2023.
Oh, wow.
And lately this year, the sky has taken over the compositions. And I think that's from living in New York City for so long, you never see the sky and you don't realize it.
I mean, this one really makes me think about this dystopian future as our future, whether we like it or not. We may be mired in like a nuclear wasteland, possibly in some of our lifetimes, an industrial, you know, wasteland that doesn't necessarily look gray and dull, but actually, you know, this is industrial material. This is glittering. Like metal is pretty. You know, Mars is pretty. Mars is beautiful. Mars is a quote unquote wasteland on a certain level, right? It's like radioactive and freezing and, rocky, and we may end up moving there someday as a species, right? So I don't know, that's what kind of this one, and then this sort of old-fashioned objects from the sort of earlier days of humans figuring out how to, on an industrial scale, manage our environment, right? And change our relationship to time and space. Time, when the sun goes down, these lights go on, space, weather. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.